and welcome back to the Brand in Demand Bootcamp. We are now in our bonus sessions, and I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. So, today is all about sales mastery, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that we covered during the bootcamp, but we're going to go a little bit more into detail about mastering your sales. So, during the bootcamp, I told you that you need a sales process. When it comes to closing sales, you need to have a process for how you take someone from a prospect to a paying client. So let's dive into that. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about the Expert Branding Academy. So if you've been hanging out with me all week, you know that on Thursday, I started talking to you about joining the Expert Branding Academy. That's my 12-month mentorship program where I'll walk you through step by step how to build your personal brand, how to create your high ticket offer, and how to get paying clients. So sales is one of the things that I focus on with my clients because we talked about how sales is vital to the life of your business. So you need sales so that your business can grow and stay alive. So inside of the Expert Branding Academy, there are a few things that you're going to get throughout the month to help you to get the kind of support that you need, but to help you build your brand and grow your business in real time. And what I mean by real time is if you need support, you do not have to wait a whole month before you can get the support that you need. You can actually get support when you need support. And so inside of the Expert Branding Academy, you get a monthly business class where we go over strategies to help you build your business and help you build your brand. So you get that monthly business class and you get the monthly implementation guide to go along with that business class. You also get a monthly live review session where you can have anything that you're working on for your business. You can have it reviewed just to make sure things look great, just to get some more eyes on whatever it is that you're working on, so that when you put it out to the market, you know it looks great because you've had it reviewed, you've had it looked over, and you had someone else other than you looking at it. So it could be any business related content, your offer, your sales page, any emails that you're sending out. You can have someone to look over your launch, if your launch content, your webinar content, anything that you're working on around your business. You also get a monthly live Q&A session. And this is one of the most important parts of the Expert Branding Academy. All the parts are important, but this is one of the most important parts because so many people get stuck. And we talk about this during the week, how so many people invest in the course and then you get stuck because you can't reach the course creator or there's some type of information that you need help navigating through, okay? So inside of the Expert Branding Academy, not only do you get the information, but you also get help with applying the information. So I teach my clients how to do things and then I also help them to do the things, okay? So you get that time to ask questions and to process through any situation you may be working on. If it's a difficult sales situation that you're having, or you don't know how to quite navigate through something, or you need to know how to word something a certain way so that it sounds professional, then that is your time to get those things taken care of. You also get a monthly co-working session where we get together and we work together as a group and we focus on getting things done together. And the co-working sessions are so much fun. As a matter of fact, we have a co-working session coming up on Tuesday. So that's where you get live step-by-step guidance on getting tasks done that move your business forward, okay? So one of the things, for example, when we did one of our most recent co-working sessions, one of my clients said, it feels so good to have this done. And that's what it's like with the co-working sessions. You're getting stuff done. Happy Saturday, y'all. You're getting stuff done and you're getting it done with a group of ladies, like-minded individuals who are doing the same thing that you're doing. They have similar goals like yours, and we're all like-minded and working together. And it's just a lot of fun. It's almost like doing business stuff and hanging out with your girlfriends. So you also get that one-on-one jumpstart session where we get together and you and I will work together one-on-one and we will design your high ticket offer. If you already have your offer, most likely we probably are going to end up raising those prices and also just tweaking your copy and making sure you know how to sell, what angles you're going to use, what outcomes you're going to help people to achieve, because that's really important. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Knowing what outcomes you help people to achieve is key to your sales process. So you also get Facebook group access so that you can connect with people. And if you're having one of those moments like how I talked about when I said, If you're going through something and you need some support right away, you can easily post in the group and say, hey guys, I'm working on this. Can somebody help me with what I'm working on? So the way that it is inside of the Expert Branding Academy, all of my clients really support each other. They're all in each other's Facebook groups, and they're all just imagine having a group of people who get it and they're cheering you on, regardless of how many haters you got. You got a group of people who understand your purpose, they understand what you're doing, and they're there to support you and cheer you on. That's what it's like inside of the academy. So go to expertbrandingacademy.com. You can see it in the bottom of the screen. If you want to join me inside of the Expert Branding Academy, I would love to talk to you. I would love to book a call with you. So there are two ways to join the Expert Branding Academy. You could join directly from the page, expertbrandingacademy.com, or you and I can get on the phone or on Zoom and we can talk about it. If you want to make sure it's going to be a great fit for you, we can discuss those things. All you need to do is just let me know. You can send me an email, or you can send me a direct message right here on Facebook. So if you're signed up, you have a ton of emails from me. So all you have to do really is open up one of those emails and hit reply and send me an email. Let me know that you're interested, okay? So let's talk about sales mastery. So I'm going back to my notes on when we talked about a little bit about sales, on how when we talked about the 6 elements of offers that sell, because I really want to go into more detail about mastering your sales. This is so important for you to understand that you need to put some real effort into mastering your sales, okay? So the first thing is, I talked about how selling is serving. And when you're selling people to people, you're actually serving them on a deeper level when they invest. Now, let me explain. Okay, let me explain this a little bit deeper. I talked about how the more you charge, the deeper you can serve, right? And so that's why undercharging does not do justice for anybody. It doesn't do justice for you. It doesn't do justice for your ideal client, because you don't want to be in a place where you are dreading getting up and serving your clients, right? You don't want to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to go do this. I have to go work with this person, or this person needs help. If you're undercharging, you're going to feel that dread every single day. You're going to be an unhappy coach. And we do not want unhappy coaches, unhappy mentors. Good afternoon. We want you to be happy when it's time for you to get on with your clients. You want to be excited. Why? Because you're being paid well to do it. Okay. And they're excited to pay you. When my photographer sent me a message the other day, and she's like, oh, I just want to send you a reminder that your payment is due $625. And I have a photo shoot coming up. And I was like, yes, thank you. Right. So I'm like, thank you for reminding me. But so when you get into a mindset of abundance, someone sending you an invoice is not something that's dreadful to you. It's like, yes, thank you for doing this, because you have that money coming in. Thank you for sending me this reminder. You have money coming in on a consistent basis, and you have more than enough money coming in on a consistent basis. That is a mindset of abundance, and understanding that the money is out there, it's everywhere, and it is accessible to you. Okay. That's the kind of mindset that you need to have when it comes to sales. The money is out there and it is available to you. Okay. It's everywhere. Money is everywhere. Okay. And so I think what happens is the time start to impact our minds and impact how we think because of what we're seeing. And then we start to feel like, well, nobody's going to be able to pay me because this is going on, or because that is going on. And it's really not true, right? Not everybody, when there's a recession or when there's something going on, not everybody is in the same place. Okay. Remember when I talked about how when the pandemic first hit, you saw the terrible times where people losing their jobs, and it was just so unfortunate because people were losing their jobs and they weren't able to pay their bills, and it was not a good time. Okay. But then on the other side, you saw people breaking through in business and making more money than they've ever made before during a pandemic, during the early stages of the pandemic. And so that's why when it comes to sales, you have to understand that there's always going to be a way for you to generate income. You just have to learn how to shift and move with the times. Okay. Not shut down, but shift and move with the times. So when it comes to selling is serving, first of all. I believe that one of the biggest reasons why we struggle to sell is because none of us want to look like the sleazy salesperson. None of us want to look like the salesperson who's knocking on doors and bullying people and trying to force people into a sale, right? That is not who we are. But I believe there's a fear that comes up because it's like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that sleazy salesperson. Okay. You're not the sleazy salesperson. I'm not the sleazy salesperson. There's a way to sell that is elegant and it lines up with your purpose and it lines up with what your income goals are. Okay. So the more you sell, the more you're serving, okay? And your sales are a part of your brand. Your pricing is a part of your brand. If your prices are too low, that's going to reflect on your brand. People are going to think, well, that's I'm not going to get quality because the prices are so low, okay? So you want to have, and this is why I love high ticket because I understand what it's like to get started and you're selling and you're making offers and people are just kind of overlooking you, and that could be for a number of reasons. But I also understand what it's like to sell high ticket so that you don't need as many clients and you can actually reach your income goals faster with a high ticket offer and you can serve your clients on a deeper level. Okay. So we talked about the fact that you need a sales process. You need a process to help you find the right people. One of the reasons why people struggle so much when it comes to sales is they're not selling to the right people. You're selling to people who don't believe in you. They don't believe in your product. And can I just be honest, y'all? Like, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, but the truth is, when you step into business, there are people who know you, they know where you came from, but they have no idea where you're going. Just because someone knows where you came from, it doesn't mean that they know where you're going. And because they feel like they know where you came from, when you start selling to them, it's like, well, why would I pay for that? I can just call her and get that. Well, why would I sign up for that when I can just, go over to her page and watch the video? People think like that. And so that's why when it comes to sales, you have to have another audience that you're actually selling to. Now, I do recommend this when we talk about how to find your first clients. I'm going to teach you how to tap into the audience that you already have right now to find your first clients. However, there's a way to do that. Exactly. I'm having the same issue. There's a way to tap into your audience and ask them because here's the deal, right? When it comes to you selling, sometimes people feel some kind of way about that, right? The people who know you. But when it comes to you asking them for help, then it's different, right? Because they're like, "Oh, I'll help." Like they want to help you, right? But really they have no idea that what they're doing is actually helping you take your business to the next level, right? But so for example, if you're trying to sell something to somebody and they're familiar with you, they know you and they're like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to pay for that. Like why would I pay for that? Like I know this person used to live next door to me and who does she think she is, right?" However, when you flip it around and you ask them for referrals, if you say something like, I need your help, can you help me find people who are interested in blah, blah, blah? Now it's like, yes, because they want to help you, right? They may not want to see you go beyond them, but they definitely want to help, right? So there's a different mindset when you're asking for referrals. So because you're trying to sell to an audience who's so familiar with you, it's difficult because they're looking at you like, well, who does she think she is, right? You really want to step out and start growing your audience. You know how some people, when they start the multi-level marketing business, now, not all multi-level marketers are like this, but some of them, when they start a multi-level marketing business, they reach out to their family and friends because that's how they teach you how to start. Like, right? I used to do Mary Kay. I've done this other business where it was, I think it was called Mana V or something like that. I've done quite a few of them. Like my husband and I, we've tried quite a few of them, so we understand how it works. And so when it comes to your coaching business, you want to get to a place where you're stepping outside of that and you're pulling leads and you're growing your audience with people who are actually interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so if you're trying to sell to your family and friends, I want you to use your family and friends to ask for referrals, but not necessarily try to sell to them, okay? Because they're gonna get tired of you and they're gonna start talking about you at the family cookouts, and we don't want that, right? So I want you to understand that when it comes to sales, you gotta step outside of your circle and really start building connections so that you can grow, okay? Don't run your family and friends down with with trying to sell to them or post all of your stuff just to your family and friends. Look at how you're going to grow and build your audience. Okay. So the other thing about sales, when it comes to mastering sales, the first thing I want you to really take from this, right? one of the most important things I really want you to take from this is that you have to commit to getting good at sales, getting great at sales. When it comes to that, you have to there's a time of practice and learning. Okay. So when I sent you the email today, for those of you who got my email, I talked about really leveling up your sales mindset. The number one thing that you have to go into sales with understanding is that it's going to take me time. This is when you're just getting started out. It's going to take me time to become great at sales. You have to commit to that, understanding that it's going to take time for you to become great at sales. Now, that's not to say that you can't start selling right now, because you absolutely can, but it takes time to really start to refine your skills, but you have to be committed to that, because sales is vital to the life of your business. So instead of shying away from it because of the fear, you really have to lean into it and say, okay, let me learn this step by step. Okay, what is the first thing that I need to do? Okay, what is the second thing that I need to do? Remember, I talked about the sales process, right? My clients have a process where they understand this is the first thing that I need to do. All right, when I get this, this is the second thing that I need to do. After this is the third thing that I need to do, right? There is a process to sales. And so you have to commit to learning and refining and perfecting that process. And understanding that along the way, you're going to make some mistakes, but you're also going to get better at it, right? I feel like so many entrepreneurs, this is such a scary part for them, and they shy away from it instead of leaning into it and saying, okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna become great at this? Okay. It comes from practicing and waking up every day and saying, okay, let me practice. Let me get great at this. And guess what? While you're practicing, you're going to be closing sales. And then guess what? The more practice you get, you're going to be able to close more sales. Let me explain what I mean, okay? So let's say, for example, you talk to 10 people, or you reach out to 10 people about your program. And let's say the first 10 people that you reach out to, one of them closes. You get one sale out of those 10 people. And then as you grow and you continue to get better, you're going to get to the point where you're talking to 10 people and then 9 of them are closing. That's what I mean by committing to perfecting the process of sales and going into it with the mindset that you're committed to it, and you're going to take the time that it takes to learn how to get better at sales. Now, you can close sales with just being not with barely knowing what you're doing. You can close sales with barely having enough knowledge. Okay. But in order for you to grow your business to the place where I know you're dreaming about, I know there's some things that you want to do with your business. I know that you may want to send your kids to private schools. I know that you may want to take vacations 2 or 3 times a year. I know that you might want to retire your husband, or you may want to buy a new house. One of my clients quit her job is in the process of buying a new home right now. And she sent me a message, and she was like, well, first she sent me a message saying she quit her job. And then she sent me another message like, I've been wanting to buy a home. I'm in the process of buying my home. And I'm like, yes, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the kind of things that committing to learning sales can do for you. Okay. Because you can have the beautiful branding, you could have your email list set up, but if you're not committed to sales, mastering sales, your business is going to struggle. Okay. Your business is going to struggle. So here's the thing. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to sales mastery, and I hope that this provides some relief to you. The secret to sales is that it's really just a numbers game. It is just a numbers game. Here's what I mean by that. If I tell you that, listen, in order for you to get these many clients, you need to talk to X amount of people, right? How much relief does that bring to you when you're like, okay, if you're saying, like one of my clients wants to make, she wants to make, I forget her number. She wants to make a certain amount of money before the end of the year. I think it was 35,000. And then I have another client who's looking to have 20 clients within the next 6 months, right? And so here's the deal. When you're committed to mastery, you start to learn, okay, so I talked to 10 people and I closed one sale. Then I talked to another 10 people, and I closed another sale. So in the beginning, is looking like for you to close a sale, you need to talk to 10 people. Okay. You need to talk to 10 leads who are qualified for your program, meaning they're the right fit for your program. Okay. So you start to learn and you start to develop a pattern, right? So for the first, when you're first starting out, maybe you may close every 1 in 10 qualified people. Okay. But as you get better, you're going to start to close more in every 10. Okay. So you have to get to the point where you understand, okay, if I want 20 new clients, how many people do I need? If I want 20 new clients but within the next 6 months, how many people do I need to talk to every month? Okay. There's a way to figure out how many people you need to talk to. And this is something that I discuss inside of the academy. When you set your goals, you reverse engineer your goals. So, for example, if you're doing a launch and you say, okay, from this webinar, I want to get 5 new clients, right? We work out, okay, how many people do you need to get on that webinar so that you can get 5 new clients? Okay. Is this making sense to y'all? Let me know in the comments. It's really just a numbers game. So if you're like, okay, remember when I talked about earlier how you can actually, having a sales process actually helps you to be in control. Great. Okay. Having a sales process actually helps you to be in control of your income. When you understand your sales process and when you understand how many people you close out of versus how many people you talk to, then you can predict your income. If you're saying, listen, I need to make $50,000 in this time frame, so how many people do I need to talk to? How many people do I need to get on my launch to be able to work this out? Okay, it's a numbers game, and I promise you, you can actually control how much how much income you make as long as you're willing to do the work. The key point: as long as you're willing to do the work, you got to be willing to do the work. I had a client who she was, working the sales process, and she just gave up because she was just like, I'm not getting any sales, and this is not working for me, and she just gave up. And I was like, explaining to her that it takes time. Like it takes time. You can't get in this thing and try a couple of things and then just quit, right? You got to be committed. How many of y'all are committed? I want to know in the comments. Let me know if you're committed. Even if you're watching me on the replay, let me know in the comments that you're committed. Okay. You're committed to this thing. Okay. So when it comes to sales mastery, remember, it's a numbers game. It is a numbers game, and you have to commit to doing the work so that you can hit your income goals. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I got to make money. Like some people, if you want to leave your full-time job and you're like, this is how much money I need to leave my full-time job, then you can actually hit those income goals with the numbers. You have to work those numbers so that you can hit your goals. Okay. It is possible for you. Listen, can I just have a really transparent moment with y'all for a minute? I did not see myself. I wanted to do high ticket sales, but I couldn't see it. Like when I was first getting started, I would think, what in the world are people putting in something that costs $50,000? Like what's in that? Like what do you put in a $50,000 offer, right? And I would be on the other side looking and watching people do high ticket sales, and I'm like, how do you even put together a high ticket offer? How do you do this, right? Because I was in a place where I'm like, I wanted to work less and I wanted to make more money, but I wanted to work less. And that's where I am right now. I remember when we talked about the sales models, where some people they go high volume and low price, and some people go high price and low volume. I'm high price, low volume right now because that's just the way that I like to run my business. Because I do not want to work as much as I used to, right? If you're in a place where you're like, listen, I don't want to do so much work. I want to do that thing that flows easy to me, okay? That's what high ticket can do for you. Selling a high ticket offer can have you working less and making more money because you're using your genius to help people to excel. People are paying you for what you're great at doing, right? So those things that come easy to you, don't underestimate that stuff. Don't underestimate that stuff. You guys are always sending me messages saying, okay, I know this might be a silly question, or I know this might be, to me, no question is a silly question, right? Because what you're doing is, for me, this stuff comes easy. This stuff comes easy to me, right? When I talk about branding, when I'm talking about the stuff that I talk about, this stuff comes to me easily. You could wake me up in the middle of the night and I could give you a 1 hour presentation on any of the topics that we talked about all week because it comes easy to me. Okay. But I understand that it's not come easy to everybody. So when you're asking something, you're like, oh, this might be silly. No, actually, it's not. This is my genius zone, right? And your genius zone is something different. Okay. Your genius zone is something different. Okay. So you have to keep that in mind. Listen, I help people with branding, but I get other people to help me with my branding. Because when it comes to my stuff, I'm like, whoo, I need some other eyes on this because I'm just too close to it. I need some other eyes to look at this, right? And sometimes that's just the way that it is. Okay. I love that somebody shared that in the notes. Commit to the process and do the work. So what I'm saying to you is that it's very possible for you. Whatever your income goals are, it's possible for you. Let me know in the comments, what kind of things do you want to be able to accomplish when your business is successfully bringing in the kind of income that you're dreaming about? What do you want to be able to accomplish through your business? Okay. I remember when I was able to pay for my family to go on vacation. So I was born in Chicago. And I wanted to go on, I call it, I'm saying vacation, but if I'm being honest, I don't consider going to visit my parents and my brothers a vacation because my parents, they want me to cook. And so when I'm there, it's almost like I'm not really on vacation because I'm cooking and they want good food. And so for me, it's like, okay, this is not really vacation. But I remember the first time I was able to pay for my family to go to take a trip to Chicago. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is great. Like my business is like actually doing this. And then I remember being able to pay bills. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my business is bringing in enough money to pay bills, right? So all that stuff was mind blowing. I remember my first $497 paid in full sale. I remember my first $1,997 paid in full sale. I remember my first $6,000 paid in full sale. My first $4,000 paid in full sale. And so y'all, like it was so mind blowing because I was like, I cannot believe that this is my life now. But I was not always in this point. At one point, I was on the other side, wishing I could do high ticket sales and not realizing that it was possible. And I'm just telling you this so that you understand it is totally possible for you, even if you're brand new to growing your coaching or your mentorship business. It is possible for you to sell high ticket. Anybody can sell high ticket. It's in the transformation. Remember when I talked about people are paying you for the transformation? When you can articulate that transformation, you can do high ticket sales because people will be able to see the value in what it is that you're offering. Okay. So let me know in the comments. Does anybody have any questions about sales so far while I'm going through this content? Do you have any burning questions that you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to know this thing about sales? Financial freedom. Yes, that's a great one. And you absolutely can do it. You can absolutely do it. One of my clients teaches about financial freedom, time freedom, building wealth, and I'm telling you that you absolutely can do it. It's very possible for you. So I don't want you to be like I was on the other side, looking at people who sell high ticket as them, right? It was like them, they're doing this, they're doing that. And you can too, right? So there, no one is more special than you are. I promise you, get this today. No one is more special than you are. I promise. I don't have anything special. I haven't done anything that you cannot do. Okay. And so that's why with my clients, I pour out to them so much because I feel like if you've got your gifts, right, coupled with my gifts, you're definitely you're gonna go beyond. You should be crushing it. You should be going even beyond me. I'm not afraid for my clients to go beyond me. I do not compete with my clients. I'm not afraid for them to do better than me because they should be standing on my shoulders and reaching higher and going where they need to go, right? So that's why I pour so much. And that's one of the things that my clients tell me is they're like, you're always pouring, you're always pouring. And it's like, yes, because I want you to win. I want you to reach your financial goals, okay? The Expert Brand Academy is not just me taking your money. It's me pouring and helping you through this process step by step. Okay. And that is the difference between trying to do it yourself. I literally help my clients to navigate through sales situations on a weekly basis. When they're stuck in a conversation and they're like, well, the potential client said this. What do I say? I'm messaging back and forth. Now, if you got my email yesterday, you saw a sneak peek into some of my messages, right? So if you signed up for the boot camp, you got a sneak peek into some of my messages and what it looks like to be inside of the academy. I'm always in the messages helping them and supporting them and checking on them and seeing how things are going and helping them to navigate through sales situations so that they can actually hit their income goals. Okay. Remember what I told you? One of my clients is like, I want to make $35,000 before the year's out. We actually got on Zoom and mapped out her strategy for how she's going to make that $35,000. Okay. My other client who's like, okay, this is my plan. I want to make one of my clients has a goal to be at 20K months within the next 6 months. And I'm like, yes, you can do that, right? That's not scary to me or to my clients to say, okay, I want to be at 20K months in 6 months. I'm like, yes, girl, you can do that. Why? Because I know the way and I'm going to show you how to get there, right? So you need to be around somebody. Listen, when I wanted to take my business to the next level, when I wanted to understand sales on a deeper level, and I knew that where I was at was not going to get me there. I said to myself, I said, I I want to I need to get around women who are making money and making a lot of it. That was the first part for me, right? The first thing was I need to be around women who are making money and making a lot of it. The reason why I knew I needed to do that is because I knew that my mind about money needed to expand. When I got around women who are making $100,000, having $100,000 days, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, now that I'm in it and I'm seeing it, it's like it changes your mindset. When you get around people who are doing the thing that you want to do, it really makes you level up. Okay. When you get in a different audience, you'll start going from, oh, I'm charging $197 per session to saying, okay, it's $5,000 for a VIP day with me. Okay. And you'll feel it with confidence because you know that people will pay you for it. You know that people will pay you for it. And so the thing is, we become conditioned by what we see most. If we're looking at people every day and they're struggling and they can't afford things and they can't pay for things, that's what we think. We think that everybody is like that. But when you get around people who are dropping $5,000, $10,000 for for classes or weekend events, then it changes the game because you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like I thought wrong because I was seeing this one thing, but now I'm seeing this different thing. It really causes you to level up in so many different ways that you can't even imagine. Okay. And I will tell you that one of the biggest things when it comes to sales is all in your mindset. It's all about your sales mindset. That's why I want to talk about sales mastery and sales mindset today. Okay. Someone says it's the closing part for me. I don't want to come off as desperate. Okay. I understand that. And I will tell you that so let me just give you a little bit of understanding about this. And I'm just going to be honest. If you're in a place where you are desperate, people can sense that. I know this very well because remember when I told you that when I was figuring my life out and I figured out okay, I'm going to teach for income. And then I set out on a mission to figure out how I'm going to teach for income. So when I first started, I told you guys I was like my bills were behind, my mortgage was due, I had stuff that I needed to pay for. So I was selling from that energy of, "Oh my gosh, I got to pay the light bill. If I don't get this light bill paid, then, they're going to turn off my lights and listen, that y'all if y'all know like how I live, you would be like, girl, if they turn her lights off, she ain't gonna make it, right? So I was like selling from that energy, like, oh my gosh, like if they turn my lights off, like this is gonna be terrible, right? And I'm just being honest, right? That was how I was approaching my sales. Like, I need this, I gotta do this, right? When you're selling from that space, it does feel that your ideal clients can sense that. They can sense that desperation. However, if you're selling from a place of peace and understanding that money is everywhere and it's accessible to me, you're going to come off with a different energy Okay, it's all about how you go into it, and you can really shift that energy. If you're like, okay, even if you're not desperate, right? You can still come off if you're in that space where you're like, I need to close this, I need to do this because I want to pay for this certain thing for my business, right? They can sense that, but when you sell, you want to sell from a place of peace. I teach my clients how when they are selling and they're talking about their pricing, I've seen people when it comes to how much their product or program costs, they freeze up or their voice changes because they're uncomfortable talking about money. That part gets uncomfortable because deep down inside they don't believe that they're worth it. And when you don't believe, that comes out too. A part of belief is understanding my time is worth it. And when you talk about your pricing and when you talk about how much it costs to work with you, then you do it with confidence and you do it from a place of peace, knowing that, okay, guess what? If listen, we were talking about the housing industry, and I was talking to my realtor the other day, and we were just talking about how the housing market has really taken off. And one of the interesting things is when it comes to like houses right now, the houses are selling so fast. I was telling her, I said, the houses in my neighborhood are selling so fast. One of my neighbors sold their house. They put their house on the market and it sold in a week. And so the thing is, like when it comes to sales, I was talking about buying another new construction. The house that we have now it was brand new when we bought it, and I was like, I want to buy another new construction. And so we were talking about how there's so many buyers that she was telling me how you can go and you can get the process going because she said right now with those new constructions, there's so many buyers they're not even worried that if you go and you start the paperwork and then you change your mind, they're not even worried because they know that somebody's going to come right behind you and buy it, right? That's how you have to approach your sales and understanding. Now, I'm not saying don't treat everybody like gold because you should. Whether a person is buying from you or not, you should treat them like gold all the time. And for those of you who know me, I treat everybody like gold the same way. If you're in my messages, whether you're a client or not, I'm giving you what you need. If you're asking me for something and I'm giving you what you need, and I'm always in serving mode and I'm always treating everybody like gold, right? So I'm not saying don't treat people like gold, but I'm saying you do not have to beg people to work with you. Because when someone decides not to work with you, then somebody else will. And that's the mindset that you have to serve from is saying, okay, if this person does not work with me, another client is coming. And this is what I mean by like shifting your sales mindset. If that potential client says no, go find you another one. Remember when I said it's just the numbers game? Work the numbers game. Okay. When it comes to this, you guys, you do not have to, when it comes to this, you don't have to panic, right? If you're willing to do the work, all you gotta do is work the numbers game. That's it. If you talk to 5 people and then they all say no or not right now, then move on to the next 5 until you get your yes. And then you keep going until you get your yes, right? So inside of the Expert Brand Academy, I teach my clients what to say, how to navigate through the process, how to find those clients, what to say when you find those clients. What do you say in the DMs? One of my clients is crushing it with sales in the DMs to the point where she's like, I don't even really want to launch because I'm getting consistent sales in the direct messages, and I don't even feel like I need to do a launch. And I'm like, you don't, boo. You don't need to do a launch if you don't want to do a launch because she's crushing it in the DMs. Okay. We teach you what to say it, how to engage with people in the DMs, not in the sleazy way. Because remember when we talked about earlier, there's a right way and then there's a wrong way to get into those direct messages. However, when you do it the right way, you close consistent sales. Like one of my clients is doing right now. She's hitting her income goals. She has an offer that's $2,000 a month. And when I first started, when she and I first started working together, it was a lot lower than that. She raised her price to $2,000 a month and picked up quite a few new clients after she raised her prices. That's not the only client who raised her prices and picked up some more clients. So doesn't it seem? Don't you feel like this is the mindset that so many people have? if I lower my prices, I'll get more sales. That is not the case, right? It's not always the case. If you lower your prices, you're going to attract a different kind of people, definitely. But when you raise your prices, then people understand the value. Remember when I said you're going to have some people, when you're selling high ticket buyers equate the price with the value. High ticket buyers do not operate the same way as a person who's looking for a $27 product. It is just the truth. High ticket buyers are like, what value am I getting? What transformation am I getting? And we're not so much as worried about the price. Okay. And so when it comes to selling high ticket, things are a little bit different. And it's not what we would think. We would think, okay, lower your price, get more people. In many cases, my clients raise their prices and get more people because now the price is equivalent to the value. Even though I teach my clients to always deliver go above and beyond. I have people that I buy from. I don't even care what they're selling. I'm like, I don't care what she's selling. I'm buying it because everything I buy is always over the top. If I pay $1,000 for this, I know it's going to be $5,000 worth of value, right? If I pay $2,000 for this, I know it's going to be $10,000 worth of value. And I have people like that I buy from because I know how they deliver. Okay, so. And we're going to talk a little bit more this week about delivering. When we talk about 7 different ways to monetize your expertise, I'm going to talk about the different ways that you can deliver your expertise and how you can shift and move with the current times because things have changed. The landscape of marketing has changed. Okay, yep, it's going down, it's going down in the DMs. It's so true, and this is what she says too. It's going down in the DMs. So it absolutely is. So, but you got to know how to work it out, right? And y'all have probably seen it. People constantly complaining about why is this person in my messages? Why is this person? If somebody is complaining about getting messages in the DMs, now I understand complaining about getting them the wrong way, right? But if someone is in your DMs and they know what they're doing, they're going to have you interested. And you're going to know that they're doing it the right way by how you feel. If they're in your DMs and you're like, "Ooh, I don't even know you. Like, why but if they're in your DMs and you feel good about the conversation, that's somebody that's doing it the right way. That person is doing it the right way. Okay, so let me just go back to my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. So we talked about selling and serving, and it's vital to the life of your business. We talked about having that sales process, and we talked about how it's really just a numbers game. And so when it comes to growing your business, you don't have to grow your business in panic mode. Or you don't have to grow your business thinking that, oh, I can't make the kind of money that I want. You can make the kind of money you want if you're willing to do the work, okay? Inside of the Expert Brand Academy, you're going to get all of the work, this is what you need to do. A, B, C, and D, right? You're going to get the step-by-step. Inside of the academy, you have to fail on purpose, right? Because you got so much support and you've got everything. I just talked to my clients, I think it was last Tuesday. And I said to them, I said, you know what? I said, you have everything that you need in that login area right now to make as much money as you want to make. Everything is in that. You can put your password in there and everything that you need to make as much money as you want to make is already in there. It's already in that login area. All you got to do is go in there and implement the steps. If you want to hit your first 5 figures, if you want to hit your first 6 figures, if you want to hit your first 7 figures, everything is already in that login area. Okay. We've got everything from how to get visibility, how to find clients, how to pitch yourself, all kinds of different things. Okay. So y'all, I don't think I told you guys a story about how, when it comes to pitching, how I went to this event years ago, and there was a pitching session from a producer who she used to be a producer for the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she was talking to us about how to pitch. And I listened to the whole lesson. I took notes, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, I know how to pitch now, right? So I get back home and I see this advertisement for a pitching session for a movie. One little known secret about me is I've always had this little knack for like movies, and to the point where I had never studied on movies, but I could figure out like the plot of the movie. I'll be like, oh, because this happened, I think later on that's gonna happen. And I could just figure out the whole plot of the movie. And no matter what kind of movie it is, I'm like, oh, I can figure it out. And my husband calls me the movie prophet because I can figure out what the movie is going to turn out to be based on how the movie is going. And so I've always had like this little knack for like movies, right? So there was this pitch an ad for a pitching session for movie ideas. And so I said, well, I never really pitched a movie, but I'm guessing that all the stuff that I learned in this pitch session, it should apply. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go do it. So I go to pitch this movie, and so it was at at Regent University. Regent University has a film school, and at the time I was a student at Regent University. However, I was not a film school student. I was a divinity school student because I was getting my master's in practical theology. So I never had any experience with film school or anything like that. So I go to this pitch session, and I'm really nervous, and my mind is telling me all the stuff like, this is dumb. You don't even know anything about movies. This is like what my thoughts are, right? You don't know anything about movies. Why are you going to go in there and make a fool of yourself? This is just crazy. So I was like getting to the place, and I was getting ready to back out. And so there's this gentleman who was in there who he was walking me to the room. And I was thinking to myself, okay, when this guy shows me the room, I'm just going to turn around and get out of here because this is crazy. I'm like, I'm going to be nice. I don't want to be rude and just turn around and walk away. But when he shows me where the room is at, I'm just gonna just keep going. I'm just gonna walk away and just get back in my car and go home. So we get to the room, and like he almost kind of grabs me by the hand and like walks me into the room. So I'm like, so here I am trying to be a lady and trying to be nice. And I just kept saying, I don't want to be rude. So he literally like kind of like nudges me and kind of guides me on into the room. And so I get in the room, and he leans in, he says, earlier the room was full. And he says, they're getting to the end of the pitch session, but earlier the room was packed. So I'm like, okay, well, great. He said all the seats were full earlier. So I get in there. There's one person up pitching. He was pitching some movie about some aliens and something coming down, and I was just like, wow, that sounds kind of crazy. But but these days people like that kind of stuff. So there were two people left. I was waiting, and then there was another gentleman who was in there waiting. And so when it came time, he asked me that I want to go before him. And I said, no, I said, you go. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, let me see him do it. And then I'll do it. And so the guy, he gets up there, he pitches his movie idea. And then I get up there, it's my turn. So I get up there and I pitch my movie idea. And I'm trying to apply all the stuff that we learned in this pitch session. And I'm just like talking about this movie idea. And it's so funny because before I went in there, I came up with this movie idea about a woman veteran because I'm a woman veteran. So I came up with this idea about this woman veteran. And before I went in there, I said, maybe I should do it from a male perspective, like a male veteran, because nobody's going to want to hear it if it's from a woman. Y'all know how they do us, right? So I was like, nobody's going to want to hear it if it's from a woman's point of view, right? So I get in there and I'm pitching my idea and I'm doing it from the male, point of view. And, that was the only thing that I changed up. And so I pitched this idea even through my thoughts saying, this is crazy. Why are you even doing this? So I'm pitching my idea, and then I finish, and I'm just sitting there waiting for them. There were like 5 of them on the front row. They were all men. And there were like 5 of them on the front row. And I was just finishing and waiting for them to respond, right? I was the last person to pitch. Remember when I told you the gentleman told me the room was packed earlier? So I was the last person to pitch out of the entire pitch session. And so I finished, and one of the guys says, that's the best thing I've heard all day. And my mouth dropped open. He says, do you have a script do you have a script already? And I said, no. You guys, I left the pitch session. Oh, but so I left the pitch session. By the time I got home, they had sent me an email saying, we would love if you could write the script for that movie. Because they asked me, did I have it written yet? And I told them no. They said, we would love it if you can write the script for that movie. Y'all, I did not know how to write a script. Like, I did not know how to write a movie script at the time. So I actually ended up taking a script writing class. So now I know how to write. Movie scripts now. But I never ended up writing the movie script because I just didn't know how to write a movie. But the fact that they said, so here's another thing that they said in the email. They said, so can you write? We would love it if you would write this movie script for this movie. And then they said, but can you write it from the female veteran perspective? Y'all, I could have just fainted because I said I second guessed myself before I went into this pitch session. And they actually wanted my original idea, which is telling it from the female perspective, right? Exactly. I pitched from the experience that exactly. I pitched from experience. And so they wanted it from the female perspective because they started realizing, wait a minute, like this movie can really this movie can really be a great movie. It can really be inspirational. And y'all, I said all that to say that when you understand a principle works in every situation. Okay. It goes beyond tactics, it goes beyond one off strategies or one time things. Principles work in any situation. Okay. There are certain principles to business, there are certain principles to teaching, there's certain principles to pitching. And so when you activate the principles, they work in any circumstance. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you today. There are principles in place when it comes to sales. If you work the principles, they're going to work for whatever you're trying to do. If you're saying, "Listen, I'm trying to make $50,000 within the next 6 months," you can, right? That's why. Listen, you guys. I'm not saying this just to be saying this. You're going to see the price of the Expert Branding Academy continue to rise. The reason why the price is going to continue to rise is because I know that what I teach works, because my clients are winning and they're making money and not like little, a little money here and there. Okay. I told you one of my clients is charging $2,000 a month. Okay. $2,000 a month. And right now she just told me, she was like, I just, I want to get 5 more clients at $2K a month. And then I'm going to start building out this other program that I have. Listen, you can take one offer and take that one offer all the way to your first million. If you're willing to work the principles, and I teach the principles. Okay. So, thank you so much. So, any questions before we wrap up? Do you guys have any questions about anything that I talked about? You got questions about sales? Anything that we talked about today? I want to give you time to work out. Get your questions in the comments if you have questions. Now, tomorrow we're going to be doing another bonus session, and then we're going to do another bonus session on Monday and Tuesday. We're going to be talking about how to get your marketing in tune with the times. We're going to be talking about marketing for the current times. We're also going to be talking about how to find your first paying clients. And then I'm going to be talking about 7 different ways to monetize your expertise. So just give you a little commercial, a little trailer. So I've been talking to you about how the times have changed. A lot of people have left the workforce. Okay. Right now, people are quitting their jobs in record numbers. And because of that, that's going to change a lot of things when it comes to business. Some people are going to want to start their businesses, and some people are going to need to be able to relieve their stress and just a whole bunch of other things. If you offer anything that's going to help somebody to thrive during this time, it is your time to shine. So because of that, you got to have some things in place that are going to allow you to be able to maneuver during this times. Now, I teach my clients how to have like one main program, and then outside of that program, they have different things that they can offer to be able to accommodate the shifts that are happening right now. So for example, if someone has lost their job, they may not be able to commit to a 12-month program, right? However, they may be able to say, you know what, I can do this thing right here, but I can't commit to 12 months because I don't have any consistent income coming in, but I can do this thing right here, right? So how do you make sure you have different things that you can offer that's still going to add to your bottom line, but also accommodate people who are in this space where they're like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what my next move is. I know I want to start my business. I don't have steady income coming in yet. I can do that thing right there, right? And so sometimes, like when it comes to committing to that 12 months, sometimes it's scary. I have one client who was like, I'm going to be honest. She's like, I'm used to just short-term stuff. I'm not used to a whole 12 months. And it's so funny because now she has taken off, right? And she's like, I'm so thankful for this program because now I'm doing what I need to do, and I know I look forward to knowing I look forward to meeting on Tuesday nights, because when I'm facing something in my business, I know I'm going to see you on Tuesday night. So I'm not stressed, because I'm like, I'm going to work this out on Tuesday night, and then I'm going to get this thing together, and then we're going to go on. We're going to keep moving forward. Okay. But in this time, you want to have other things that you can offer, right? But remember when I said you can take one offer and work that thing all the way to your first million. However, because of the times right now, you got to be able to shift and move with to be able to accommodate your people. And but the funny thing is, it changes. Things change so fast, right? This is a part, like when I was in the Navy, things change so fast, right? So right now is the way that it is right now. But however, in another few months from now, it could be a whole different ball game, right? So you got to constantly have your hand on the pulse to understand what's happening in the market. And that's something that I do every Monday. I'm talking to my clients about what's going on right now and how they can move with the current times. Okay. So for those of you who are interested in joining us in the Expert Branding Academy, send me a message and let me know what you're thinking. And if you want to book a free 30-minute call, I would love to get on the phone with you and talk to you more about the Expert Branding Academy. You can go to expertbrandingacademy.com and see all of the details. And feel free, you guys know y'all been hanging out with me all week. So you know you can reach out to me in Messenger if you have any questions or any concerns. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'm going to be back tomorrow. It's going to be the same time and the same place. So we're going to be back tomorrow for bonus session number 2. And I'm going to go into detail, just like we did today when we talked about sales and those mindset shifts around sales. So I'm going to go into detail some more tomorrow and throughout the rest of the weekend. So if you have any questions, let me know, because I can make sure your question is getting answered inside of that boot camp. So some of the stuff that I just talked to you right now about the marketing shifts that are happening, I'm going to go into detail about that tomorrow, so that you can understand what's going on right now, so that you can know what you got to do, right? So this is what I meant when I talk about the sons of Issachar. When they talk about the sons of Issachar in the Bible, they understood the times, and then they also understood what to do with the times, right? As a matter of fact, when I get off, I'm about to go back and read that scripture, because it's so important for this time and this season. You got to know what to do for your business so that your business can stay alive. One of the things that people determine how successful a business is, they determine how successful a business is by how they get through hard times like this. The businesses that are the ones that are still standing after a tough time, those are considered the stronger businesses. Obviously, right? Because some businesses aren't going to make it. But the ones that do make it are considered a strong business, okay? And I want every one of you who are listening to me right now to have a strong business that thrives even when times are hard, okay? All right. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at the same place. We're going to talk about marketing shifts and how you can make sure your business is ready, okay? All right. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you again soon.